So that was the Glasgow Subway. It's actually 15 stops, so I got that wrong. Probably, in my opinion, the best in the whole wide world. Don't drop all the dumb comments into the box below. I get it, and things are moving fast. Maybe we should learn from this. War and sanctions are not the answer, but peace. Travel in China and say, hey, this is pretty cool, you should maybe look at this and learn, but nah, blah, 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 blah. One of the things to know about Glasgow is when you're walking about just around the general city, you'll see some absolutely outstanding architecture. And I have to say, when you're in Glasgow, look up or take your camera and just look up some of the buildings, you'll see some just outstanding little touches which really make Glasgow quite unique. So unique that some of Hollywood's biggest movies have actually been shot here in and around Glasgow city centre. Partly I think it's because it's very like some of the capital cities in particular, like some New York streets, Philadelphia and so on. So if I was to share these movies with you now in some screenshots somewhere, you will see what I'm talking about. Anyway, that's not what I'm going to show you today. I'm going to go and have a look at something not a lot of people know that we have in Glasgow, and that is an underground system. Yep, we have an underground system. City of 440,000 people, and there's a small underground system that goes round in a circle basically, which I think is about 22 stops. I'm going to go and have a look at that, and then when I get back to Beijing, I'll show you what the metro in Beijing is like. Now, it's not a comparison, because I know what people will say. How can you compare a city of 22 million people with a massive infrastructure and transport to a city of 400,000 or so? That's not what I'm going to do. I'm just going to show you two metro lines and maybe give you a little bit of insight into the history or stations or whatever. I'm sharing it with you. You like it, you don't. This is what we used to call the Clockwork Orange in Glasgow. I don't think it's a Clockwork Orange now, and I can explain why. The trains used to be small, but little clockwork toys, and they were orange in colour. Now I'm not sure what they are, but anyway, let's go find out. This is not where I wanted to get off, so I'm going to go back on the metro line, or the Clockwork Orange, as we say. It is a very small underground system, as you've seen. I was saying it was only 22 stops, but it's less than that. It's actually 15 stops. So I got that wrong, and I'm a native of Glasgow, so there you have it. I'm going to go back into the city centre, look at a few more architectural wonders set in the centre of Glasgow. Join me for that. Then I'm going to share with you what the Beijing Metro looks like. Oh, it's cold today. So that was the Glasgow Subway, Clockwork Orange Metro, whatever you want to call it, underground. You know it, I know it from my childhood as the Clockwork Orange. Let me share with you what the Beijing Metro is like. Wow. So this is the Beijing Metro. This is the new line. And I've just come from Glasgow Subway, the small subway in Glasgow, which is cute, but in no way does it compare to this metro, which is amazing. It's probably, in my opinion, the best in the whole wide world. I think Shanghai people, maybe Tokyo, they might argue the case. But in my opinion, this metro is the finest and best kept in the whole wide world. And I reckon you should go and have a look at it. Now remember, when I show you around, it's not a comparable, but there is something else I want to talk about, because it might not be a comparable to the Glasgow Metro, but there is something in common with my subject matter. So let's go have a look at the Beijing Metro. So that was a quick insight into the Beijing Metro, the world's busiest metro station with over 10 million trips per day, 22 lines including 2 airport services, one to the North Airport, one to the South Airport, also a maglev line, automated trains, and with the plan to increase the mileage coverage from currently 530 miles to well over 600 miles over the next couple of years. And it runs pretty much on time. As I said, this is not a comparison with the Glasgow Subway, so please don't drop all the dumb comments into the box below. I get it, I've got it, it's not a comparison, got you. And I get it, I could have compared the London Underground with the Beijing Metro, and that would have been, yes, a better comparison. And the London Underground is a great service and almost runs on time. However, the Beijing Metro beats the London Underground in my honest opinion. So no, this is not a comparison, but it is something else. This is a metaphor, or is it a simile? I'm never sure because I always get them mixed up. The comparison of the Glasgow Subway and the Beijing Subway is like comparing the UK and China. The Glasgow Subway serves the people well, has purpose, but it hasn't grown or changed in many years. But you know, it's kind of familiar, the people like it, but some people also have a romantic view of it because it reminds them of times gone by. Like it reminded me of an earlier trip that I took on the subway with my father when I was a child. It's nostalgic, the good old days, blah blah blah. The Beijing Metro, on the other hand, is growing fast, developing, effective, and is meeting the needs of its people through technical advances and investment. It is supported by the local government, and everyone that comes into contact with the service on a first-hand basis really understands and gets the experience. It puts the needs of the people first. The other thing for me, and this will become apparent when you read the comments that will be left by some people in the comment section below, it is almost symbolic of the conversations I will have with some people. Symbolically pointing to the Beijing Metro, I will say, hey, look at China, it's very interesting, growing fast and outstripping many of the Western world countries. The cities are huge, futuristic, and things are moving fast. Maybe we should learn from this and work together. But people will point to their equivalent of the Glasgow Metro and they will say, nah, we're okay. We have our country and it's working just fine. In fact, people will even symbolically look at the Beijing Metro as a point to it and say to themselves, nah mate, you're not telling the truth. That's not real. That's just a show put on for Westerners. It's all going to collapse and crumble. We know you're paid to say this and you're standing in the best area just to show off. There is a mess elsewhere, blah, 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 blah. I get it, heard it all. It can never be as simple as just someone who's in Beijing travelling China and say, hey, this is pretty cool, you should maybe look at this and learn, but nah, blah, 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 blah. What else can I do other than share what I see, what I experience, and hope that people might change their mind and ask more questions, and maybe they can start to see that war and sanctions are not the answer, but peace, working together and learning from each other is the way forward for us humans. I mean, I can only hope that, we can only hope that. Anyway, this is me, Ian, here in Beijing, next to the Workers' Stadium, saying to you, look after yourself, look after your family, look after your community, and as always, take care, peace out, catch you in the next video.
There was once a day that I would pray for you. I'd go and misbehave just so you'd notice too. Sneaking looks up and down from across the room. Damn, what a hell of a view. I feel good, you look great. I like you, I can't wait. Our first time, our first date. You're so fine, I'm so late.